ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be talking about nostalgia. Yes, nostalgia is can be a wonderful thing, but it can also be like a very bad thing. It can also be one of the worst things ever, because obviously you sit there and you just think about the past and just how good it was. And in this instance, we are thinking about World of Tanks Blitz, the past of World of Tanks Blitz. And when you look at certain tanks, it just brings back very, very fond and happy memories whilst playing the game. Now, this video, we're only looking really at a couple of lower tier tanks. And one of them is this tank right here, this tier 3, the T82. Now, what a tank this used to be. Now, no one probably, a lot of you that watch the video now will probably never have really understood the T82 and just how good this tank was. Now, it's never had any armor. It was only really good for one thing, and that is the gun, and that was the alpha. You could one-shot tanks. Yes, that shot was shit, but you could one-shot tanks, completely one-shot tier 2 and even some tier 3 tanks, because you had over 400 alpha. Over 400 alpha for a tier 3 tank. It was absolutely incredible. Of course, Wargaming then removed it. Like this guy here, we'd be able to one-shot him, no problem whatsoever. But as I've said, Wargaming had to nerf them, and I can even tell you the reason why they nerfed them was because it was ruining the experience of newer players, because newer players would join the game in a tier 2, tier 3 and get one-shotted from a tank, and Wargaming didn't want that. They didn't want to ruin the experience for newer players. So instead they allow these newer players to reach tier 6s and tier 7s, or even actually tier 5. Tier 5, let's go with tier 5, when they will then meet the KV2. And then they'll get to tier 6 and then they'll meet the Smasher. But yet they didn't want them to get that experience in tier 2 and tier 3. So it completely ruined the tanks. Like, they completely ruined it. And ever since then, the tanks have not been the same. Now, this isn't just the only tank I'm talking about. There are other tanks as well. And we're also talking about a tier 4 tank in the Electo. Pretty much the same kind of thing. It could one-shot everything. The armor was very, very poor. So it was a very difficult tank to play. Because if you're not in a certain position where you can get the shots off, if you're too aggressive, and people could actually HE you, like, very, very easily. And they've done the same with this tank, really. Like, it had very, very good alpha. And because they didn't want to ruin the experience, they pretty much removed the gun. And they didn't just do this on tanks that had higher alpha. They also done it on auto loaders. So things like the T46, the A20, they all got massive, massive nerfs. The Lux, the Leopard, and so on and so on. So yeah, they all got massive nerfs because the auto loader was just insane. And they were fun tanks, I'm not going to lie. The T46, the Lux, obviously they were absolutely insane tanks. The A20, very, very OP. So yeah, I get why they done it, but it still took away the fun. It took away our fun in these lower tier tanks, and they're not lower tier tanks where you go to Seal Club. They're actually lower tier tanks that you go to have a bit of fun, go and one-shot tanks. But yeah, sadly you just can't do that no more. And the last tank on the list is, of course, the Hetzer, with its the big gun. Is it the howitzer or whatever it was? Again, over 400 alpha that this tank could do. You can absolutely destroy tier 3s in this thing. The armor profile as well was actually very, very good. Now, they haven't really touched the armor profile, but you'll look at it now and think, Meaty, what you're talking about, the armor profile. But the lower plate was very, very weak. But actually, if you hide that lower plate, it's quite strong. The armor profile was quite strong. And people did struggle to deal with the Hetzer. Now, of course, it has lower alpha, it just isn't the same tank. Now, you can still carry in the tank, believe it or not, you can still carry, which is what you are about to see here with the one and only meadsyreplays playing it. I've gone back to my roots, I've gone back to my lower tier roots, and yeah, I'm going to show you all how to play. Who cares about knowing how to play in tier 10? I'm about to show you all how to play in tier 4. This is my roots, this is where I've come from. And yeah, I'm going back. Nostalgia, honestly, it can be an incredible thing when you just look at certain tanks and think, oh man, I miss this tank. I really, really miss this tank. But people can still have fun in them. I get people can still have fun, and they're going to have fun, but you can still have fun in them. But people will never understand how much more fun they could have had in these tanks. But I get a lot of people, most people would have never experienced it. They would have never experienced it because this was a long time ago. Wargaming removed these alphas and the autoloaders, so majority of the people would have never understand. But that's why us YouTubers are here, to show you what you're missing. We're here to show you what, if you was here a bit longer, what you could have been doing in this game. But yeah, obviously we all miss the old days. Of course we do miss the old days, but things are looking up when it comes to Blitz, especially obviously the new engine coming, new graphics, things like that. Yes, there is still a lot that the game could work on, but if you played the game back then, the graphics was and you look at it compared to now, yeah, the graphics were bad. They weren't really bad, but compared to now, they were absolutely nothing. So Wargaming have definitely gone up in the world, but we still miss these tanks. We still miss them. Let me know if you would bring these tanks back now. You know, it's been a while. Why not put them back to their roots, you know? Put them back to their original selves and allow people to have some fun, because it was these 3 tanks especially that I showed you, not even including auto-loading tanks, were like the most fun. They were absolutely amazing. So let me know in the comments below whether you experienced any of these tanks in their original state. Was you there one-shotting new players just for the fun of it? Let me know in the comments below, because for sure I was definitely doing that, and I was definitely having fun, and I didn't even feel guilty. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Nice 2,000 damage here in a tier 4 tank, the Hetzer. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye.